Welcome back to part 2 of the John Deere B Will It Run video. So we're going to start putting this guy back together. I'm just going to really just have the GoPro running and just tell you kind of what we're going to do today. So I'll start out with putting a new oil filter in it, filling the crankcase up with oil. We're going to clean out the cylinders, get all the dust and stuff from sitting on them, and we're going to clean out the surface of the block and install the new head and see how far we get today. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put some oil in it. I'm just putting in 1540 engine oil. So I took the crankcase breather cap off and the strainer right here. We're just going to go ahead and fill the engine up with oil. Whoop, if I don't spill. We're going to fill it up until it drips down on the vent port down on my side. It'll take all of this. Yep, see how we got this nice and loose. If you want you can just take it out. See how it's starting to drip? That's when you know you got enough. Get this started again. So, we're good on oil. No. It takes about takes about a gallon close to. So that's how you check your oil level. So now that we're good, we got clean engine oil in, we're going to go ahead and put this crankcase breather cap in. I clean that up, and then this just sits right here and threads back on like so. Okay, so we're gonna put the exhaust manifold on the head because you can't get it on the way we got everything set up on the tractor. So we put a religious amount of copper gasket maker on here because it's kind of got a rough surface and it's a nice insurance policy. So we'll put the gasket on. And this says this side out, so you want to make sure that you're on that way. Press it on, like so. So it's even everywhere. And then we did the same with this, put a nice amount. And we're going to go ahead and set this guy on, like so. Give it a nice little push, and we got all of our hardware right here, so we're going to go ahead and put that there, couple different size studs, but the way that this was done is the way we're gonna have to do it. Got 11/16 nut and a 9/16 nut, but who cares? So get that. We're gonna get this on and tighten down, and we're not gonna torque it down until it's actually on the tractor. So we just kind of need to get it started and tighten down though. So this one will go here. So there's that. Now what we're going to do is tighten these down. And there it is. Exhaust manifold is on the cylinder head, and now it's ready for install. So that'll be the next step. We're going to go ahead and install this back onto the tractor. So here's the head. I just did the exhaust manifold, but we got it all nice and decked, brand new frickin' valves. I mean, them things aren't expensive, or they're really expensive. Nice and cleaned. I mean, vacuum tested. So this will be a nice head. I mean, we spent a pretty penny on getting this decked and ready to go. So we'll get this installed now. All right, we're going to go ahead and install the head. So here's the head gasket. We got it from Olson's Gaskets. You can search them up online. They got great stuff. Use them for our Caterpillar and our Unstyled A over there. So we got to make sure to put the gasket this way, this side down. This faces towards the block. So we're going to go ahead and put it on like so. And then we're going to go ahead and slide the head on. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and, we need the lead washers. You always want to make sure you got brand new lead washers because you can't reuse them. So the lead washers come with the kit, so he's going to grab them real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and torque all these nuts down to 96 foot-pounds. That's what the service manual calls for, so I like to do whatever the service manual says, so go ahead and torque them down. Here's the lead washers, just little ones. Put these on each stud, like so. You know, make sure you get the old one off too when you're putting this back on. Go like that. Okay. What the heck? There it is. All the lead washers are on now. We'll go ahead and put the nuts on each stud, and I cleaned all these up with the wire wheel. And you want to make sure that this end faces down towards the block, because that's what grips on the lead washer. There's always a certain way nuts go on anything you do, whether you're working on this or something else. Go ahead and put these guys on and tighten them down, and then we'll torque them. Get a ratchet. Yeah. Now just snugging everything up. That way it's easier when the torque wrench is in here. You don't have to go so many times with it. Go. Let's go down here like that. Got these two to do. Okay, so we've got those snug. Now we're going to go ahead and set this up to 96 foot-pounds, which it already is. So we're going to start in the center and work our way around. Because if you don't do that, you'll end up warping something. Not a whole hell of a lot of room right here. I need to get a little bit longer extension. There we go. That way I avoid the stud. There's that. We'll start. All right, she's all torqued down. Next step will be to install the rocker shaft and the push rods. All right, so now we're on to putting the push rods in, and the rocker shaft, rocker arm, or the IT manual calls it the pop it lever, or tap it lever. We're gonna go ahead and put a little engine oil on these push rod ends. So when they go on the lifters, they kind of got some lubrication before they even do anything. So that one's seated there. Go ahead and lubricate this one here a little bit. Slide it in until it seats like that in the lifter. I'm just using engine oil to lubricate these push rods. That one's in. Okay, slide this last one in. You can feel them almost go in too, which is good. So, some of them too might stick out further than the others just because of the position of the pistons. You know, when you put the head back on. So now the next step is we're going to go ahead and put the tappet lever or rocker arm back on. So we're going to go ahead and turn all of the levers so they're facing the right way, and then we're going to go ahead and slide these onto the studs like so until they hit to the bottom. Oh man. There we go, just like that. Now You want to make sure that your push rods are in. Like this one is not in, so I got to pull it back and get like that. So just like that, all the push rods are in their seats, like so. These are on, the followers are on top of the valves. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bolt this down. They got a lock washer and just a little nut. So we'll go ahead and put these on here. Long-winded freaking nuts, so this might take a little bit of time to thread on. I need a deep 3/4, please. This one will go in by hand. The other one's kind of giving me a tough time. There we go. Now she's going on. Alright. This one on now. Just got to get past the initial valve cover threads because sometimes those are a little messed up. But now we're past them, so now we can do it by hand. Just like so. Now the shop manual had no torque spec for the valve, for the rocker arm, so what I'm going to do is I kind of know, you know, how much I'm tightening it to, so I'm gonna kind of just get it to where I think is good. Like right there's good. Right there's probably good, and I don't know. I couldn't give you a good torque spec on that, so that's kind of why I'm just tightening it like that. All right, now the next step is going to be to we're going to try to get cylinder number 1 up to top dead center. I got this Milwaukee borescope, or inspection scope, whatever you want to call it. And I got both the spark plugs out. We're going to start on number 1 cylinder. Alright, so we got the borescope in the cylinder where the spark plug goes. So my dad got it timed to top dead center number 1, and we did that by having this in there, or a light, or whatever works for you. And we watched the cylinder until it reached the peak of its travel all the way up, which is top dead center. So if you look on the camera, right here is the piston, and right here is the cylinder wall. So the piston is all the way up to there, and that's where top dead center number 1 is, because we always say that the left cylinder is number 1. So we'll start there. So now we'll adjust the valves to 22 thousandths, I think it is. Now that we got the valve set, I'll just show you kind of what the rocker shaft does. You see it moving different valves at different times. So, alright, putting the valve cover back on, got the new gasket Permatex on, and a nice coat of Permatex on the other side, because you can never have enough. You know, it just helps. So go ahead and put this guy back on. We got 2 washers and 2 nuts here. Go on like that. And this valve cover, it's supposed to have 2 acorn nuts, but when I took it off, it only had 1, so I'm just gonna have to this one started to begin with. Okay, valve cover's back on, and now we're ready to start buttoning it back up. We're going to put the breather hose back on, carburetor, muffler, spark plugs. We got compression petcocks to put back in, water pipe. Got a lot more work to do. Alright, so now we got the water pipe on the bottom on. We got this little, protective little sheet metal on, and the exhaust pipe's on. It's kind of just all redundant stuff that would be kind of hard to video. This breather's on. Now we're going to go ahead, though, and install the carburetor. The other one we had was actually junk, so actually let's go over and look at it. We went to go and take it apart, and the bulb nut, or whatever you want to call it, broke off, and this threads actually broke right off, so this carburetor is actually junk. So here's the other end of it. I mean, look at the float too. I think that's perfect condition right there. No, but yeah, so this one I'm going to take parts off it and keep parts, but we got a different carburetor for it, so we're going to go ahead and slap her together and see what she'll do. So we're going to go ahead and get our gasket and 2 bolts, and I'm going to start putting this on. So I'll go ahead like this, just fit this in here. Like so. Okay, and then put this here, but this is the throttle linkage. I got to get a cotter key for it, but we can just set it there now. And this is just I mean, there's no choke hookup. It's going to be just hand control because it's a hand start, but there's full choke, there's no choke. So there it is. The carburetor's installed. Might have to do some messing around with the high idle, low idle screws and stuff like that, but at least it's on, ready to go, and ready to move on to the next step, which is to get some different plug wires on and check for spark, and we'll see how the magneto works. And if we get that magneto going good, then we can connect to the spark plugs and get this little crankcase breather on, and we could even try it with a small tank. So we're getting there. We're getting close to starting it. So got some more stuff done on this thing. Made sure the magneto was working, so we got spark there, and made sure the plugs were good. We got spark at the plugs, good blue spark. Carburetor's mounted. My dad's going to spray some gasoline down the spark plug hole, and we're going to see if she fires one time. That was it right there. That was a little fire. All right, take 3. Just make sure this is on. Ooh, that was a fire. Look at the smoke. It's smoking. Ooh. Put a we'll get a nice little gas tank on this next, and she's gonna be a runner. So thanks for watching, and part 3 will be up soon.